Welcome to the Rusted Brush. Today I'm going to be showing you my converted war wagon for my Estalian army. I've been wanting to show more of the expedition side of this army, and nothing sells that theme better than the Estalians adapting whatever they find in Lustria. Estegadon isn't something they would normally use, but out here you work with what the jungle gives you. It makes the force feel a bit more like a group of explorers trying to survive, and occasionally makes some very questionable engineering choices. I kept the build pretty close to the original because the howdah and the platform already looked perfect for what I wanted. That gave me a good base to work from, and then I could focus all the creative energy on the extra bits and the crew instead. For the howdah, I'm going to be adding a few spare weapons and shields from multiple miniature kits in my collection. I chose a mix of bits so the wagon looks like something that the Estalians hacked together during a long expedition. As for the crew, I wanted to make sure each crewman stood out and had the right weapons for the wagon. Each pose is meant to tell a story, so having a different weapon helps make the platform feel busy and lived in. I'm using multiple different parts from the Empire collection, the weapons coming from Warhammer, Wargames Atlantic, and Perry Miniatures. The mix of manufacturers helps push that scrappy conquistador look that the army has. And with everything prepared in sub-assemblies, it was time to start painting. Now, I normally don't have a spot to film when I airbrush, so unfortunately I can't show you how I did it, but I can briefly explain that I primed everything with a zenithal highlight of black and white. Zenithal just helps the colors settle in naturally without having me to fight the shadows later on. For the Stegadon skin, I airbrushed the armored parts of the hide with Pterodon turquoise, mixed with a small bit of Leviathan blue, and a small amount of Ushabti bones. Adding that bit of Ushabti bone softens the turquoise and gives it a more organic, natural reptile tone. For the lighter part of the skin, I went with rotting wood from Badger, mixed with Pterodon turquoise, and I added a bit of white to the mix as well to highlight the skin. I wanted the skin to feel a little bit sun-bleached and layered, like a creature that's lived in the jungles for centuries. I decided on these colors based on a very old LEGO theme called Dinosaurs 2001, I believe, from when I was a kid. I always liked the colors, and I think it came out nice. I think this is going to contrast well with the Estalian crew. Speaking of the crew, I followed the basic paint scheme and style featured in my Painting Conquistador video, so I don't really want to go over that here, and same goes with the shields on the howdah as well. Now for all the horns and hooves on the Stegadon, I started by painting these with wildwood contrast paint. While I wait for that to dry, I painted the stone platform with Mechanicus Standard Gray, leaving the blue tones in the recesses. Then I go back to the horns and paint these with XV88. This will help warm up the tone of the horns and stop them from looking too flat. The entire platform and the horns get a thinned down wash of Nile oil, as well as the beak. This helps unify all the tones and adds a nice gritty depth to it. Once dried, I then highlighted the horns with Ushabti bone. Then I highlighted the horns with Typhon Ash. This final pass adds a chalky, aged look that really finishes them off. And that was the model fully painted, so then I started gluing the crew to the platform, then the platform to the Stegadon. Then I went to basing with my normal mix of various vegetation I have for basing, and painted the trim of the base with Goblin Green. And that was the model finished. One part I really enjoyed with this project was putting the Stegodon together. It's a really solid kit, everything fits nicely, the armor plates look great, and it adds a lot of presence to the battlefield. I'm pretty pleased with the end result, and I think it'll help the army look a bit more unique and less trade themed. I do plan on adding more lizardmen allies to the army. If you got some suggestions or ideas, I would love to hear them. Anyways, the next video will most likely be a tier list, and I plan on doing a poll for the next video after that to see what people want. I hope you enjoyed the video, remember to like and subscribe. Take care, everyone.